Are you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Leaders. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you, finally, the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bonsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Ayim of CTL Africa Leadership, and I'm excited to be with you this evening. As always, this is our favorite part of the week, where at CTL Africa, we get the opportunity to bring to you lessons on leadership and personal growth. We bring you leaders who have made it, leaders who have the insight, the knowledge, the experience to share with us so that we can become our better selves and become better leaders. The world needs more leaders. There's not one single organization, society, church, community that will say, oh, we have enough leaders, we don't need any more. We always need more leaders. We need better leaders. And so we are not stopping at anything to bring you the lessons that would help to make the contribution that is necessary to transform our countries, to transform our lives, to transform our companies, transform Africa, to make Africa a better place. So you are welcome to the Leadership Platform. Please join us on YouTube, join us on LinkedIn, join us on Facebook, and please share your link with others. Please subscribe to our channel and share the link with your friends so that they can also join. At this moment, if you are connected, do introduce yourself to us. The team is here. I'm here. Sarah Jesiapia is here from Switzerland. Joy is here. Gideon is here. Vivian is here. The rest of the team are here. I can see Kwame JB here from UK. Kwame, you're welcome, always present. God bless you. Let's invite our friends, our colleagues to join the platform. It is our pleasure to introduce you to the whole wide world. Great. This evening, we have a very interesting and important lesson, and we have a capable speaker to help us address it. All right. So, we are going to talk about how to achieve our goals. And in achieving our goals in life, what are some of the obstacles that impede our progress? Now, one of the key critical obstacle is procrastination, which kills our ambitions, which kills our drive, and therefore it disable us from going forward. We are going to talk about that this evening, and we have an able personality, my good friend, joining us all the way from La Côte d'Ivoire. And so this evening is going to be French. So if you don't speak French, you are in trouble. But still stay with us, because by the time we finish, you would have improved your French. So our speaker this evening, my good friend, is with us here. She's Vanessa Sesi. And Vanessa is a Ghanaian Ivorian. So she has both bloods in her. She's currently based in Cote d'Ivoire. She's a seasoned lecturer and an educator, and she lectures in some of the universities in Cote d'Ivoire. And her main area of focus is leadership development and in a corporate and academic environment. So she has quite a long, accomplished profile from well-renowned institutions. She is a fellow and member of the Membership Advisory Board for the Learning and Performance Institute of the United Kingdom, and with other experts, she has leveraged this fellowship to boost organizational membership and has contributed a lot to knowledge. And she's here, so she's going to tell us a bit more about herself. She's going to tell us about her humanitarian side, which is making her an ambassador to supporting child abuse and keeping children safe. Now, she's passionate to empower and inspire others to achieve their potentials. So, my good friend is here, and I'm going to bring her on stage, and we're going to have a conversation around this subject.
Yes.
Vanessa, soyez le bienvenu.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay,
Good evening
Sarah.
from me to all of you.
Sarah est ici aussi de Genève. Et Sarah, bonsoir. On va t'inviter bientôt. So we're going to invite Sarah somewhere in the middle. And when Sarah comes, it will be all French. So, all right. All right, Vanessa, thank you so much for doing us
Yes,
the honors. And welcome to the Leadership Platform. We're going to have a good time learning from you. And the team is ready. Please, before we go on, I've shared a bit more, but share a bit about yourself and what is not on your CV. What is your motivation for doing what you do? What is the drive?
Good evening once again, and good morning. My drive, before I go into what is my drive, I want to say hello to everyone. Wherever you're watching us from, this is a warm greeting. My drive, honestly, is like what makes me get up in the morning and keep going is to see people find fulfillment in doing what they believe they are called to do. So I know what it means to not have someone to encourage you. So, having experienced the need for to have someone to encourage you, I always want to encourage others. So that motivation factor is always there, that like a fire that gingers me on. And I'm passionate about what I'm doing, because if you are not passionate, you can't keep going in whatever
Mm,
you're doing. So you need to do what will give you the passion, and then you cultivate your passion into your profession.
mm.
That's what I can say for starters.
Wow. And this passion for this has led into several academic areas. Will you want to share briefly with us,
Yeah.
all your brilliant
Yeah.
academic backgrounds?
Okay. We all know that there's this hidden, let's say, a hidden disease in the youth, in children, and in most part of the world, especially in Africa, is a kind of a taboo to speak about child abuse. And this is a subject very interesting, because abuse goes on very subtly, even in the schools itself. And I took the interest to join this association called My Body is My Body, which brings about a community based project to speak about child abuse in schools, in the universities, in the secondary schools, in primary schools. And I am Cote d'Ivoire's ambassador for the My Body is My Body Foundation in the USA. So I always use the opportunity to talk about those subjects that parents may find uncomfortable to speak about. And I always try to motivate my students to be the best version that they can be, because the more they have confidence in themselves, whenever they feel they are being abused, even by their own friend who is forcing them to do something they don't want to do, they can be able to approach anyone with confidence to speak about that abuse, because abuse is real and it's happening in our schools, in our churches, in all those places we don't see it happening. So it's because of that I've taken a keen interest in that as well. Another place I'm very interested in is prison ministry, going to the prisons to speak about Christ and also share with the inmates. So I have other passions behind besides teaching in the university. And of
Yeah.
course, I'm an ordained minister of the gospel. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, I think you said so. Yes. Well
I
done.
wonder if I
Now,
told you that I'm an ordained minister of the gospel as
yes, I
well. So
think
I'm
you told
associate
me
pastor,
about
Latter
that.
Rain Harvest Ministries here in Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, yes, yes. Well done. Congratulations for all the good work you're doing. Now, you are a lecturer in the university. Can you share with us which university in La Côte d'Ivoire do you lecture, and what subject areas do you lecture?
Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, yeah. So,
Can you hear me?
hmm, thank you very much. Yeah, the sound is breaking, but I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. The pleasure
Oh,
is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. You are, and always will continue to be a good friend.
all right. I'm not sure if I'm being heard by Vanessa. Sarah,
I'm hearing you.
you
I'm
hearing me?
hearing you.
Okay, all right. So I was asking to share with us the universities that you lecture in and what subjects that you lecture in the
Yes,
university.
please.
Could you?
Some,
I don't think Vanessa is hearing us.
okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Gideon,
I'm hearing
just give
you.
us a short
I'm
break.
hearing you.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Let me see. Okay.
Gideon, can you just give us a short break and let's rectify this because I don't think Vanessa hears us. Okay.
For over a decade, CTL Africa
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
All right.
For over a decade. For over a decade.
All right. So Gideon, that's okay. Maybe you should stop.
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope this works better. All right. Let me give Sarah a break a bit and let's see how it goes. And
Okay.
then
Mm-hmm.
we would we'll take it again. So Vanessa, can you hear me now
Yeah.
directly?
Yes, please. I'm hearing you.
Okay. So thank you for what you've shared, in which we heard about your
Mm-hmm.
passion and so on. So I was asking
Mm-hmm.
that we know that you lecture in some universities in La Cote d'Ivoire, and I was asking if you can share with
Mm-hmm.
us which universities you lecture and what subject areas you specialize in.
Okay, I'm actually part-timing in two universities. One is the Institute IBMT, Institute Britannique de Management et Technologie. I In that university I teach at undergraduate level and graduate level as well. Leadership, HR, change management, management studies, um, business ethics as well. Then there is University of International Studies, Tunis, where I do as well international studies on to business as well as introduction to business, organizational behavior. I would say I'm a versatile, prolific lecturer who kinds of fits into almost everything except financial accounting.
All right. So that brings us that brings us right into the subjects we want to talk about, because if you've been so
Exactly.
prolific and able to achieve all your goals, then you should be the right person to talk to us about achieving goals and procrastination and so on. So we want you to yes, let's start from the basics. What is
Mhm,
procrastination and what is the role of procrastination in achieving
mhm.
our goals? You've been able to achieve plenty of them. So give us some insights. What has been your experience?
What I will say is that first of all, as human beings, and I personally, I consider myself a work in progress. I don't see myself as having achieved what I need to achieve. For me, I'm a work in progress. So every day I have to set goals. We always have to be progressing towards our goals and objectives. So as human beings, we should see ourselves as entities that delight to learn and always want to achieve our goals. Coming to the aspect of procrastination, this is an interesting topic because you will realize that most people don't even know they are procrastinating, because for them it's like pushing to do what they're supposed to do today. They are just going to push it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And for them, they don't see it openly as they are procrastinating, because for
Hmm.
them is that they are postponing what they want to do they would have done today. They want to say, okay, let me postpone to doing it tomorrow. Now it's two different things. We can say that both are a disease, because when you keep postponing what you're supposed to do today. You keep taking it to tomorrow. And there is always going to be something that will cause you to push forward again what you're supposed to do. So you find yourself always pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing forward. And imagine yourself pushing, like, for instance, you have like a, let's call it a bowl full of rice. Let's use that. You push forward what you want to do. You push the rice, you pour it on tomorrow's rice. It adds to the quantity, right? You end up not using it completely. You add to it. You keep adding. At the end of the day, you have a heap and you are overwhelmed with that heap. So procrastination is putting forward an action that you're supposed to do because you find out that there is something more interesting to do at that time. So it's not that you are pushing off the agenda, but you are replacing what you have to do at that moment with something else you think is interesting. And
Yeah.
that is where the challenge is. Because sometimes, as simple as social media, and it's not that I'm not coming to attack anyone who is on Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp or anything, but once you spend your time on something that excites your mind, and you are finding pleasure, and you end up not doing what you exactly have to do, you are procrastinating.
Yeah. But Vanessa, I
And
mean, well, I
yes.
just want
Mm-hmm,
you to, so I want to do something, and
mm-hmm,
there are other things that have come that I think are urgent, and so I decide to
uh-huh.
put this aside and do those things first. So
Yes,
what
but
is wrong with that?
what you wanted to do initially, it was urgent, right? In the first place, it was urgent to you till you said it's not urgent. Why did you say it's not urgent? Initially, you woke up in the morning, you wrote out your agenda and said, this is what I'm going to do today. And something else comes into to prevent you from doing it. What came in to prevent you from doing that activity? That is why when you are even planning your day, you don't need to plan your day just because you have to plan your day. Ask yourself exactly what exactly are you to do in that day within that time, and can you finish it within that time? This is easier said than done. Nobody is perfect. Let's establish that notion. No one is perfect. Everybody falls into the trap of procrastinating because sometimes you think you have a logical reason to push forward the activity. You feel you are is like you said, it's urgent. But then when you start making it a habit to always pushing something aside, your mind becomes used to doing that. Then you would realize you never get anything done. Time will
Yeah.
always be against you. It means that you will always not find anything to you will always not get things done. And when things are not done, when they are supposed to be done, how they are supposed to be done, you cannot have the personal, professional success we all you are desiring to have. Honestly, it is one thing to desire to become something, and it's another thing to work at being that thing you want to become.
Yeah.
Hard work is not an excuse. You have to,
Mm.
it's one thing to say, I want to achieve this goal. I want to be excellent in the classroom. I want to pass my exam. I want to start this business. I want to have this meeting with this person who I want to share my ideas with this business tycoon. Now, for instance, we have this program. We schedule it at this time. Now we come and say that, oh, we can have this program at this time because we had a logical reason not to have this program and we postpone it. What do you think is going to happen to the program that we are supposed to have next week? We keep postponing, giving reasons to postpone, and at the end, you are drowned in uncompleted tasks. So you
Yeah.
see, So it's even though you have a reason for which you have to postpone, when you get into the next day, ask yourself this question: I postponed this action yesterday. What caused me to postpone the action yesterday? You see, sometimes we need to take time to ask ourselves, what did we do? How did we manage our time? How did we effectively and efficiently manage our time? You know, we can be doing the right thing at the wrong time, and we
Yeah.
can be doing the wrong thing at the right time. We can be wrongfully right, rightfully wrong. So, exactly, what are you doing with the time that you have? We all have 24 hours. All
Yeah.
right. All of us have 24 hours. Why is it that some people are more successful and others are just successful?
Yeah. Vanessa,
Because
that's
that's
a good point. If you don't mind to come in here to ask.
Mhm.
So you talk about, so how do you determine whether this postponement is procrastination? What factors should I take into account when other things come in? So I want to do X, but other factors are coming, some other activities are coming. What should be the guiding principles to determine whether I should throw this away and focus on this, or change and do something differently? Because sometimes you will not be able to do what you plan to do, and some other things will come. Let's say you plan to come and watch this program every Saturday, you do it, but just before then, somebody is sick. So, what are the things that you should take into account in order not to say or in order to say this is a legitimate postponement and this is not? What are the factors, if any?
First of all, how do you plan your day? You see, how do you plan your day?
Okay.
What do you do with your day? All
Mm-hmm.
right. We all wake up, we say, you said that, okay, from 7 to 8 o'clock, I'm going to do this activity. I'm going to perform this activity from 8 to 9. I'm going to, and now you have to plan your time in such a way that you leave a space in between for an eventuality that happens, so that at least just in case something crops in, because yes, you may have someone, you may be called on to do something, and you have to put what you're doing down and you go. It means if you, for instance, you should start your day at 7 a.m. and you list on your item 10 things you're going to do between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. You have 10 things you're going to do. You realize that due to some in uncompromising, hardcore, realistic situation, you end up having to do only 8. And at the end of the day, you realize you have 2 things you are carrying forward into tomorrow. It means you have to prepare yourself that you won't wake up and start your activities at 7 a.m. tomorrow. It means you should program that you're going to add time to the next day's time to do what you have to do today. You see, but when you don't look into that, you just keep saying, oh, it's happened, it's life. I have this reasonable reason to do this that I'm supposed to do. I didn't do it. And therefore the next day you go in at the same into the day with the same energy, same zeal. You should know you are adding. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to say. You are adding to the load of the next day. And the
Yeah.
more load you have an uncompleted task. Let's face it, the body will get tired. You know you are a student. Let's look at it. You know you are a student. You are doing not less than 7 courses or even 14 courses a term. You don't have a personal timetable to study what you have to study. You wait to the last week of exam for to the exam, cramping everything, and your brain goes blank the day of the examination. You see what we are saying? Because you
Yeah.
compounded
Yeah.
the time you were
Yeah.
supposed to study, you were on Facebook, you were talking with your friends, you were playing football. Now, that is for the youth. Those of us who are working, you know that this is an activity you have to write a report and give to your boss. Instead of writing the report exactly at the time you've allocated, you decide to go to the next desk and be talking, asking them about what they did over the weekend. I'm not saying don't socialize in your office. We are social beings, but keep to time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
What
saying.
I'm
Keep.
hearing you, Vanessa, if I'm
Mm-hmm,
hearing you,
mm-hmm.
what I'm hearing is you underscoring the importance of goal setting. Can
Yes.
you help us to understand how can we set goals well? What do you call good goals? So that you don't just put so many things in the plate, like you were saying. So, how do you set good goals that are achievable? What can you say about that? And if you can share personal
First.
example from your own life, that would be great
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
help us to understand how
mm-hmm.
to set good goals.
We all know that when we come into the New Year's, there's always that New Year resolution, right? Everybody wants to set New Year resolutions. They want to do this. They want to lose weight. They want to do this. They want to do that. They set a lot of goals, and interestingly, they don't set the goals that is in tune with who they are as an individual. Before you set a goal, ask yourself, who are you? How well do you know yourself? So that the goal you are setting should be in tune with your personality, should be in tune with what you want to accomplish. And you should set the goals in such a way that they are aligned with you and your ultimate aspiration. For instance, you know your expertise is in the financial sector, or your expertise is in the arts, or your expertise is in project management, or you can just name any kind of expertise as an example. And you know that you want to start a company, that you don't set a goal that is in tune with the expertise of the company you want to start. You should know that your profession and your personality go together. Who you are and what you do and what you become are in sync together. So before you set a goal that, yes, specific. That is if you want to go with a smart acronym. We should set the goal that is specific, that is exactly what you have to accomplish for that time. And you should go about the goal setting in such a way that you break it into pieces. There should be significant goals, realistic. Not before you even get to realistic, there should be specific, significant, and stretching. Because your brain, when your brain is doing something that excites it, it gives you that adrenaline to put you into doing what you want to do. It will interest you to know that procrastination also comes from when you are doing something you really don't love doing. Depression can cause you to procrastinate. Hopelessness, feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, simply because your goal has not been accomplished, can cause you to procrastinate. Because you don't have the desire, the joy to do what you are doing. You push it forward. So, your goal, set your goal with you. If, for instance, you want to travel abroad, when do you want to travel abroad? Where are you actually going? How are you preparing towards that goal to travel abroad? If you want to prepare you to travel abroad and you don't have a passport, as simple as a passport, do you see what we're saying? How relative relevance is your goal? You want to travel, your goal is to travel abroad and you don't have a passport. Do you see the correlation between the two of them?
Mhm.
So if there is you have to make sure you have the relevant documents, the necessary items for what you want to travel and where you are traveling for what you are traveling.
Yeah.
Goals is an objective. Goal is an intention. I love to say this. You need to be intentional about your intentions. Like for instance, this year, I didn't go. One thing about this year is different from last year for me personally. Why? Last year I kind of set a lot of things I was going to do, but I ended up not doing all of them. So this trip, rather than give myself a tall list, I just gave myself three things I'm going to make sure I do between January and December. And those three things, when I sit down and look at it, it's easy for me to work towards accomplishing it. And I am responsible to make sure I take the steps for those three things. And I'm not comparing myself to somebody who has said they want to do seven things. Life is not a race, but life is given by grace. You live life by grace, but it's not lived by racing. If you copy somebody, you won't accomplish your goals. Because
Yeah.
my goal is surely going to be different from yours. Your goal is specific, your goal is significant, your goal is stretching. You
Yeah.
have to make sure your goal is measurable, your goal is meaningful, your goal is motivational. Do something that excites you, do something that makes you happy. You have to make sure your goals are achievable. You want to go to an English speaking environment, you're in a francophone speaking environment, you want to work in an English, in an international company, and you cannot speak any other language apart from French, or you cannot speak any other language from English, and you want to work in an international company by the end of the year. Do you see what I'm saying? So whatever goal you want to set, let that be, it should be action oriented, achievable, and it should be adaptable. You should be flexible. You don't change your goal, but you change your plan. You change the process to accomplishing that goal. Then they should set a time. Track your performance. What you measure is what you can manage. So track your performance. Set your time. Find an accountability partner, somebody that you can speak to, you can ask, am I doing what I said I'm going to do? Find somebody even if you don't find someone to be your cheerleader, then you need to encourage yourself. And if you live life without a goal, it's to help. You have to set, even if it's just one goal, set it. So setting a goal is having that objective in mind that this is what you want to accomplish and you intend to accomplish it at this particular time. And that is where procrastination also comes in. Your
Yeah.
goals don't get accomplished because you keep postponing.
Yeah.
And that is
Vanessa,
because
you mentioned,
that yes.
I wanted you to, you made the point about the SMART acronym, and I'm following you closely. You talk about the goal must be specific, significant, and stretching. And the M, I'm hearing measurable, meaningful, motivational. So I'm following the SMART. Then I'm hearing
Mm-hmm.
achievable, action
Mm-hmm.
oriented, and adaptable. So that is the SMA there. Okay, so I've heard also you talked about the R. What is the R? And I'm also hearing the T, which was the time. So I wanted you to focus a bit on the R and the T so that we can put the SMART together beautifully.
R is rational, reasonable, and reachable. Rational, reasonable, and reachable goals. All right?
Mhm.
Rational, reasonable, and reachable. Trackable, time bound, and tangible.
Okay.
Let me
So
use myself
the
an
T is
example.
the
That
T
is even
is
going to
what?
make it a good
Trackable,
challenge.
time bound,
Trackable, tangible, and time
tangible.
bound.
Okay. So I'm just
Mhm.
recapping for our friends who are probably taking
You
the
see,
note.
so it's like, mhm,
So the SMART, for your goal to be smart, S stands
mhm,
for specific,
mhm,
significant, and stretching. M, measurable, meaningful, and motivational. A,
mhm,
achievable, action oriented, and
yes,
adaptable. Then the R,
mhm,
it should be rational, reasonable, and
mhm,
reachable. And
mhm,
the T
mhm,
is
mhm,
trackable, time bound, and
mhm,
tangible.
mhm.
Did I capture
Good.
that correctly?
You captured it very well. You've
All
captured
right.
it
So please,
excellently.
so
Excellently.
just go ahead and just put a bit of flesh, finalize that, and then let's move on to see how this
So you see,
help us.
like I'm
Yes.
saying, Yeah, because you see, when you have something in front of you and you're able to notice that, okay, this is what I'm doing. Yes, you also said that, okay, this is what I did not do. You are being honest with yourself. I did not achieve this goal within this time frame. What made me not achieve it? Did I set too many goals and I realized at the end I didn't achieve it? You are asking yourself the what, the why, the where, the when, the who, those questions in between. It gives you a mirror image, and now you start asking yourself, okay, if I didn't do it this way, then let me get up early and let me work on it the next day. Failure is not a bad thing. All right, when you fail today, it's not the end of the world. You ask yourself what caused you to fail, and the next day you try as much as possible to learn from that which caused you not to accomplish what you claim has caused you to fail. Let me clear this point. We are human beings. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You will fail when you fail to realize you have failed. That's when you fail. But when you realize that you did not do what, you are honest with yourself, and you realize that, okay, this is what I was supposed to do. I didn't do it well. And then the next day you wake up, you say, okay, now let me see how I can retrack my step and do it well. Because the bend in the road is not the end of the road. You can always reverse and get on track and keep on track. That is the truth. When we say that you have to cultivate the discipline and focus to achieve personal and professional success, it doesn't mean that this is something that is unachievable. It is possible, but you need to work at it. You need to acknowledge the fact that this is what you are doing, this is what you are contributing for not seeing the progress that you want to see in your life.
Yeah.
Next week,
Yeah.
by this time, we get into the month of March. You need to ask yourself, January, February, up to March, what have you actually accomplished?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
caused
So
you to accomplish what you accomplished?
exactly. And
What
I want you
caused you
to,
not to accomplish what you intended to accomplish?
and
That
Vanessa,
is
I
where
want
you
you
will
to,
know whether you are a chronic procrastinator or you procrastinate without even knowing you are procrastinating.
okay. So
Yeah.
I want you to, and just to recap, you share us what is procrastination. You've talked to us about the SMART goals. So you've set your SMART goals. And I want you to answer that question you are asking by asking you what are some of the common roadblocks that face people when you have set goals? What are some of the things that derail you? What makes you procrastinate? What are some of the
You
factors
you get
that you can share with us?
you some of the factors is, first of all, you get distracted. All right,
Mhm.
you are that kind of person. You seem to always put your eyes on things that you should not be putting your eyes on. Permit me to use this example. Forgive me if it sounds harsh. If you always want to stop and throw stone at a dog at every dog that barks at you on your journey, you will never get to your journey. You understand? I use the word excuse because not everyone is comfortable with the use of the animal a dog. But you know that if you just want to throw stone at every dog that is barking at you, you won't reach your destination. So you should ask yourself, what is causing the distraction? Are you that kind of person who you always want to do many things at the same time and nothing is being done? That's number one. Asking yourself, one other thing is not knowing exactly what you have to do. You want to do something and you won't acknowledge the fact that you don't have the knowledge in it. Why don't you acknowledge the fact that you don't know what you claim you know, and now look for somebody who knows? Look for a mentor, somebody who has experienced that. We always use the word readers are leaders. There are people who have done that business before. There are people who know how that subject. So when you don't know what you don't know something, find out who knows about it and then ask questions. Because these are some of the things: distraction, not knowing, having an idea of doing it. Also, not caring if You have that attitude that you don't care whether you do it or not. For instance, you are not concerned about the implication of your action if you don't do it. You are not concerned that if you don't write that report, your whole team members will be affected. You are not concerned about that. You are not concerned about the fact that if you don't do your tasks, the entire team will be brought back. You are not conscious about those who are going to be affected by your actions. We need to be conscious of the implications of our actions on the people around us. Now, we also have that habit of always wanting to wait to the last minute to do things. There are those people whose adrenaline works last minute, at last minute, last minute. That I used to have that as an experience when I was in Ghana, Wisconsin, doing my second master's. I was so good at waiting to the last minute to do things.
Oh, sorry, I think Vanessa's network is is a bit down, but interesting points so far. Vanessa will come back, she will join us. But when we talked about what are the causes of procrastination so far, she's talked about when you put so many things on the plate at the same time, it doesn't help. Not having the knowledge to do exactly what you set yourself to do, that's also a challenge. It talks about not caring about the consequences, the implications of your actions or inactions. That is also a problem which distracts you. Then he talks about the last minute habit. So I think Vanessa is back, so we will bring her to continue from there. Maybe she has more points on some of the things that distract us. And Vanessa, when we were off, I was just recapping the
Yes,
points that you have made, putting too
thank you
many
so very
things
much.
on the plate, not
Mm-hmm,
knowing exactly what to
mm-hmm,
do, and you are saying ask for knowledge, not being
mm-hmm,
concerned about the consequences or
mm-hmm.
implications on the team, and you were on the point of sharing your experience on the last minute habit, and then you went off. So if you take it
Yes.
from there, and then um, guys, if you
Mm-hmm.
have any questions, get ready to ask them, because we're going to ask, how does mindset affect, what's the relationship between mindset
Yes,
and
I used to have
procrastination? But finish on the distractions and let's see.
Yes, so it's like I always had that habit of waiting to the last minute before I write my assignments. And yes, I'll still get my B plus and my A. But a time came in my life I realized that if I always wait to the last minute, I will really have too many things to do. So I had to stop that. I would just want to say this because some people work with that adrenaline pressure. When you are working with a team, you are working in a team. So you need to make sure all of you sync your strengths together and you do things accordingly so that you work together to accomplish the purpose for which your team was made. We are not an individual. And at the end of the day, you must also realize that what may work for you yesterday will not work for you today. Understand that the world that we are living is a fast-paced world. We are living in a fast-paced world, so you should know that yesterday's keys can't open today's key doors. You can't open a new door with an old key. So even if the strategy worked for you yesterday, you need to change it. So we should ask ourselves, how do we build on a positive attitude and a habit so that the goal we have set comes to pass? Procrastination comes also when we lack the initiative to do what we want to do. Why are you taking that action you want to do in the first place? Why? You understand? What is the reason why you want to do that action? What purpose? What benefit? What result will it give to you? When you are able to see that you and the purpose is like your person and the purpose are together like dokunu and chinam or achake and fish, then you realize that it goes smoothly, or banku and okra soup.
Well, I like fufu and abenkwan.
Thank you. You see, with go fufu and a bank wine, it goes together. But then when you try to mix the okra soup with the abenkwa and put it with the fufu, you get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It may give you a different meal, but it didn't give you the intention you wanted. That's why we need to be intentional about our intentions. In 2025 should be the year that you say to yourself, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then you work towards it. I shared with one or two clients not long ago, and they were like a debate. I said, one of the things I've decided to do this year is to lose 20 kilos by the end of the year. I didn't say 6 months, I didn't say in 3 months, I said 12 months. For
Mhm.
me, it's specific and it's attainable. Now, if I find myself losing more than that, I've still reached my objective. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So we should
Yeah.
do that which excites us, that we know that it benefits the group, and it should be something that we have an idea of what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Vanessa, sometimes you work in a very high pressure environment. They've given you
Oh
so many
yes,
goals. Can you share with us some
yes.
of you know, the strategies that you can use when you are in a high pressure environment so that you
Hmm.
don't kill yourself, but still achieve your goal?
Stress, we need good stress to get up in the morning, eh? life
Yeah.
life I mean, with stress gets us up. So sometimes you need to work under pressure to for the gold in you to. Gold is a black ore unless it goes through the fire and goes through the pressure of heat before we see gold. So sometimes you need that pressure as an individual to see yourself, to get to know what you can take, and the measure to the extent you can take what you can take. So sometimes pressure is good. Now, when you face the pressure, you should be able to set boundaries, all right? You can't please everybody. You can't do everybody. You can't be a secretary for 10 executives. You can't be a secretary for 5 executives. You can't even be a secretary for 2 executives. So try and work within your boundaries. And yes, what is the workload you have to do? Sometimes you have to take a deep breath, look at the workload, and then passion the workload. Please, Eja, you can't kill yourself, and you can't kill yourself for somebody else. As much as you want to add value to the organization and do what you want to do, you can't do more, because let's face it, you drop today, tomorrow the vacancy is open. It's your family that will lose you. So when you're under pressure, try to ask yourself the activity that you're doing that is giving you the pressure, that tax you are performing, that is giving you, is it that you don't know much about the tax, or you forgot an element you were supposed to have done with the tax? Take a deep breath and try to passion the tax into bits and bits, and do what you have to do when you have to do it. As far as pressure is concerned, pressure is part of the business environment, but you should know the load you can take. And when
Wonderful.
you feel yourself having a headache, please, that 10 minutes break, take it. Just take a stroll around the building. If it's going
Yeah.
down the stairs, to go down the stairs and just breathe in. There is more to life. You can't kill yourself. So don't kill yourself. Just
Yeah.
know yourself. Yeah, know who you are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great. We are gradually coming to the top of the hour. And guys, if you have any questions, let's come in. We will take a short break later on. But before we go, I want to ask you these questions. This question: what kind of mindset do we need to overcome procrastination? What should be going on in our head when we've set these goals so that we can keep to those goals? What kind of mindsets? Because everything comes from the mind. You are who you think
Hmm.
your mind is. So can you share with us briefly what kind of mindset we need to be able to keep and not procrastinate?
When we speak of your mindset, when you speak of mindset, For me to say that mindset is how you set your mind. How you set your mind is your mindset. So the question is, how are you setting your mind? Are you setting your mind all negative? Yeah, nobody has gone to this, no one has done this. You are always looking at the impossible. Look carefully at the word impossible. You realize it's impossible. You need to condition your condition in your mind to see positive. It's not easy there. It's not easy. You have to work at it. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. What is in front of you when you wake up? I have a wall full of A4 sheets. I've written things that I speak to myself. There is a word here I always say. I speak positively to myself. I'm fabulous. Just make sure what comes out of your mouth is positive. Because if you're always saying negative and always focusing on negative, your focus becomes your reality. So actually, what are you focusing in? What focusing on? And because if you're focusing on the negative, it can't happen, it cannot be well, it will not do. People have done it, it didn't work. Please have you your own experience, because your experience is your handout. Building on your positive mindset is also to ask yourself the seven fundamental questions about life. And these seven fundamental questions are questions you ask yourself every trimester. What am I talking about? It's the seven fundamental questions that helps you discover who you are. And the first is, who am I? Have you asked yourself who you are really? Who am I? And when we speak of whom am I, you are talking about yourself today, where you are right now. Who am I as a person? How can we identify you? You have to ask yourself, who am I? Ask yourself that question. When you discover who you are, you realize that your goals will become more clear and you end up achieving them because you are doing what you have to do in tune with who you are. Secondly, you have to ask yourself, where am I? Now, this is a very trickish question because it can reveal a bitter truth of yourself. Where am I? Where am I concerning spiritual issues, physically, in your marriage, in society, in your professional life, in your ambition? Where am I? Where am I? First of all, who am I? That is knowing your identity. Where am I? Why am I here? That is your reason for existence. Is when you know why you are here, you will ask yourself, are you fulfilling why you are here? Your identity and your purpose go together. So, and there's always room to discover. And we are always going to be discovering and recovering more. So you're asking yourself, who am I? Where am I? Why am I here? You're asking yourself, where do I go from here? How do I start? How do I end? And lastly, what will I be remembered for? Even if you're a housewife, how are you handling the home? Even if you are single, you are not yet married, how are you living your life? You are a professional, you are a business owner, you are academician, you are who you are. Have you discovered your strength and your capability, your capacities and your skills? Because if you don't know who you are, you're going to be living somebody else. The shadow is not the real thing. So
Great.
discovering who you are is important. So
Yeah.
let's make an aim to discover who we are. And in that way, you will build a positive mindset because you want to find out that beautiful you and want to exploit your skills and capacities.
Wow. I love what I'm hearing, but I had seven fundamental questions. I was
Yes.
trying to take notes. I got five. Let me see which ones I missed. Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I?
Yes.
Why am I here? That's three.
Yes. Yes.
Where do I go from here? That's four.
Mm-hmm.
And I got
Mm-hmm.
five. What will I be remembered for? I missed two.
How how do I start and
Okay.
how do I end?
Okay, so how do I start
And how do I end?
and how do I end?
We should
Okay,
always try to make an evaluation of our progress day by day, month by month. We
good.
always should do that because when you know how you are progressing and the rate at which you are progressing, you can celebrate your wins, no matter how little they are.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
celebrate your wins and you can
All right.
be happy with the step that you've taken towards that goal. We are made for more, and we can
Mm.
always and we can and will always be what we are supposed to be. We just have to see today in the today and do what we have to do today in the now. And we
Wow.
should stop giving our excuses because our excuses will not rescue us.
Wow. Our excuses will not rescue us. We'll take a quick short break. And when we come back, I'm going to go to see who is here and who is saying what. And then I'll bring Sarah in. So, Gideon, give us a quick short break and then let's see who is in the house. That
Is your team ready to soar to new heights? At CTL Africa Leadership, we specialize in transforming potential into performance. Whether it's mastering winning with people, enhancing emotional intelligence, decoding human behavior, or strengthening team leadership, we've got you covered. Dive into personal leadership and elevate your corporate governance standards. Our tailor-made programs are designed to unlock your team's full potential. Don't settle for ordinary. Be extraordinary. Book a discovery call with CTL Africa today, and let's design a development program that transforms your team. Visit our website www.ctlafricaleadership.com.
great, great, great. So Kwame JB from UK is in the house. Livingston Zeto is in the house. Our regular Olivia Okine is in the house. Junior Malik is in the house. Also, he's greeting all of us. And I see Olivia say, oops, the network. All right. I hope that the network got back for you. Latte. Now Latte is here. You are welcome. He says, thank you so much for this opportunity. Great. We also have Conrad Kakraba, who is here. He says, can't wait to learn from today's presentation. Sapa Yahaha is here from the Village of Hope. Emmanuel Ahinkan says procrastination must be avoided. It's here. Edwina Martinson is here. She greets us. Joyce Sapon is here, and she has helped us to capture some of the moments, being specific and measurable, and so on. Foster Bidiakon is here. He says, be intentional about your intentions. That is a quote from Vanessa. Joy, continue to capture the points for us: achievable, adaptable, attainable, rational, reasonable, reachable, and trackable, tangible, and time bound. Those were great, great, great new ideas on the SMART principles. Edwina said, brilliant mind. Thank you so much. Natalia Kwaju is here. Thank you. You are always here. Say hello to everybody. And says, positive mindset yields. Great. Now, Edwina says, what if you set your mind? Now, this seems to be a question for you, not for me. What if you set your mind to a task, execute it excellently, and you still fail? So what then becomes the cause of the failure? Because you did your best. So note that when we come back, you start from there, help us to answer that question. You've set your mind, you did it, give it all your best, and it doesn't work. What happens? I have Anna Buke. Benjamin Atin is here. He says he's here. We've seen you. Bismarck Awolenga is here. And he also has a question. Okay, Joy says, thank you for the thought-provoking presentation. How can you differentiate procrastination from waiting? So let's take those two questions because I see some questions coming up so that we can address the questions. We don't want to miss our listeners' question. So the first one is from Edwina. You've given it your best, but you fail. What do you say to that? And take that one with Joy's question about how can you differentiate between procrastinating and waiting, because sometimes you're tired, you just have to wait, or you have no way to move on and you have to wait. So if you can answer those two questions, then we'll continue.
Uncle Sam, I think from the issue, you just said something right now that we can just hammer on. You are tired, so you have to wait. Waiting is an expectant feeling about something you want to happen. All right, you are expecting something to happen to you, so you are waiting for it to happen. And I will always say that even while you are waiting for what you think or you want to happen, you are waiting for it, still do something, because until you make it happen, it cannot happen. There is an effort you have to put in. Now, there are some circumstances that you just have to actually wait for the event to happen. That is different from procrastination. Procrastination is you intentionally pushing forward what you should do today, you push it to tomorrow. I use the word intentionally because even if your reason is good, you have still push it to tomorrow. I am a lecturer. I have to do my lesson plan for tomorrow's class. And I decide not to do it. I push it to tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, I have to mark scripts. I'm teaching in two subjects, one school, three subjects in another school, and I don't mark the scripts. I keep pushing forward, no matter the reason. That is different from waiting. All right. Waiting is something that is normal, it's natural. And in the meantime, while you are waiting for what you are waiting, you prepare in the wait. That way, the wait doesn't become cumbersome or worrisome to you because you are actively doing something, even though you are waiting for what you want to happen. You want to travel, and the time to travel hasn't come. You're waiting. But what action do you do to prepare yourself for when you travel? You see,
Yeah,
they are not the
yeah,
same thing. To wait
yeah.
is to when it's your time and your turn, it will happen. That's different from you pushing things you have to do. You always have something to say about not doing what you have to do. Now,
Wonderful.
concerning the next question,
Yes.
you have done everything you have to do and it did not work out. Failure is part of life, a bitter truth. How many of us haven't failed before? Let's ask ourselves that truthful question.
I almost raised my
How do
hand
you
and I
define the
realized.
failure in we have all failed. We fail one way or the other. Failure sometimes if you look at it, it is in the failing that people have discovered other sides of themselves and have done things better. You understand? So we should
Yeah,
not life. We can say the F in the word LIFE. F there is failure. But you have to learn from the failure. Find out what causes the failure. You've done your best, so rest. It did not work out. Breathe in. The next day, ask yourself, okay, what did not work out? Okay, I did, because sometimes you think that what you did was your best. I said something earlier that we can be rightfully wrong. You are doing the right thing at the wrong time. For instance, you asked me to speak about goal, focus, and to achieve personal and professional success. We start, and instead of me treating goal, procrastination, and what I have to do, I'm started talking about leadership. Is am I supposed to speak about leadership? No. I'm supposed to, even though, yes, when you achieve your goal, you are leading your life, but that was not exactly what I'm supposed to do. So when you say that you've done your best, did you do your best in exactly what you are supposed to do? A bitter hard truth, you see?
Yeah.
So you just have to answer that. Maybe I did the best, but I didn't do it the way I have to do it. And even if you've done the best, in the best way you have to do it, and you still fail, failure is part of life. We move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Says, how do you align who you are, what others think you are, and the community function and the community you function in to design the life you need and want to be more magical, miraculous, and still
But
upholding
yeah.
your values? I mean, this is more philosophical than you can imagine. So, this my question is, how do you align all these things, who you are, what others think you are, and the community within which you are to design the life that you need or want to be more magical and miraculous and still uphold your values? Okay, I hope you understand. You're a lecturer, so you have had many, many wonderful questions. So this one is easy for you.
Now, first of all, society society is like birds that fly over our heads, all right? You
Mhm.
cannot stop the birds from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from nesting on top of your head. Whatever the community thinks about you is their opinion.
Mm,
Some of what people say can be true, some cannot be true.
mhm,
Who you are yourself is what makes you who you are. And you have to, because if you always want to please everybody, you won't get anywhere. You
mm,
are who you are, uniquely special. We all cannot be the same. When we
yeah,
raise our when we raise our we need two hands, not three hands, to hold things. And if you look at the fingers, they are strategically placed so that you can pick what you want to pick. Imagine if all of the fingers were straight. Can you pick up what you have to pick up? Try picking up your phone. And imagine if all the fingers were straight. Can you pick it up? Now, the smallest finger cannot say they are not of use. They are of use. So everybody, whether tall, short, fat, whatever, you are of essence. You are essential, you are effective, you are efficient. So I accept who you are. Your value is what makes you who you are. So you cannot devalue your value to please somebody else. There's a price to pay in holding to your values. So ask yourself, that price you want to pay to hold to your value, is it worth paying? And if it's worth paying, please pay the price. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, it is you who is responsible for the choices and the decisions you make. So don't
yeah,
try to please the community and try to adjust. A round ball cannot go into a square hole. So please be yourself and then discover your full potential, and that magic, that miraculous aspect you want to be can bloom. I think I've
you've
answered
done
to a
excellently well. Very, very excellent. The professor you are. Now, because we are running against time and Sarah has to come in. Let me quickly finish the other questions.
okay.
Natalia says, can acknowledging the fluctuations in our lives where we experience periods of growth and others of learning and of evolution present opportunities for personal development? So keep that
Yeah.
question. Let me see if there's something else. That's from Natalia. Times you face frustrations and so on, periods of experiencing growth and learning, can these present opportunities for personal development? Martin is here. Mami Dokua is here. He says, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Coach Sam. So now this one is Vanessa. Do we say there is do we say there is a problem between a person's rise and fall in life? I'm not sure we said that, but if that is your question, I think we would address that. And meanwhile, you do not know tomorrow, unfortunately. Anyway, maybe that's a continuation of her question. How can one heal from years of chronic procrastination? And that's so those are the questions. The question of times where you experience periods of growth, and how can that give you opportunity, and also how can you heal from years of chronic, and then the question about whether there's a problem between a person's rise and fall in life. All right. So put all those together and give us a quick
Okay, let
summary.
me start from how can you heal from how can you heal from chronic years of chronic procrastination? First
Yeah.
of all, what you are doing, do you have the desire in doing it? Because um the desire, the joy to do what you are doing helps you to perform better. So, do you really have that desire to do what you're doing? Because procrastinating is because maybe there is loss of interest. So, start doing something that gives you interest and be
Mm,
patient with yourself. You see, be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to grow out of the gloom that you think you're experiencing. If you need counseling, seek counseling. But you need to be honest with your shortcomings, saying to yourself, this is what is causing me to procrastinate. Am I losing interest? Is there been a disappointment? Some people are procrastinating because they are not happy about life. They've experienced so much disappointment in life about everything about life that they are even disappointed with life itself. So until you are able to see that, okay, this is what is making me not want to love again. This is what is making me not want to do the business again. This is what is making me not want to socialize. What is causing you to withdraw? When you discover it, you start taking step by step to deal with the issues causing the chronic procrastination, because depression causes procrastination as well. Procrastination is actually a serious unconscious activity that you find yourself doing, which can be innate. So you need to find out what is really causing the disinterest in life.
Vanessa,
Coming to the second,
I'll
yeah.
add here that to do that, what does courage play? What part does courage play in this? I mean, you want to know, but if you don't have the courage, if you don't have the
you don't
motivation,
have
what
the
will cause you? Yeah.
motivation. Yes, because you see, this is a deep question. Why am I
Yeah.
saying it's a deep question? There are people that just don't even have the courage. You see, that's why even to get out of bed in the morning, they don't have that courage. You see,
Hmm.
there are those people who are so beaten by life itself. When you're telling them there is hope, they don't see hope because all their reality is hopeless.
Yeah.
That is where you have to cling to your faith in God, and it's no easy matter. It's no easy matter. You should try and avoid being a loner. Try and get somebody you can confide in and talk to. And also try and check on that friend who you have not heard from in a long while. This is not something we can deal with in this time because we are entering into something that has to deal with somebody's unconscious consciousness that has been destroyed. They no longer have the faith, even in faith, to wake up and determine their own fate. So this is something we need to, it's something you have to be patient about. So you ask yourself, what is causing the disinterest? And just feed the courage. Sometimes you won't have the courage, but you have to say to yourself, you have to force yourself to get up and keep moving. Look, life is full of eventualities. If we go into this, we will not finish now. So I just want to say that whatever has caused you to lose interest, by the sound of my voice, know that you can still come out of that hole that you find yourself in. Just take the step and climb out gradually. You will surely come out to the other side and you will get to the light at the end of the tunnel. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I think that more or less is addressing the other two questions indirectly, because the other question was whether there's a problem between a person rising and falling in life. And I think this partially addressing. And Natalia's question about acknowledging the frustrations in life and experiences where you go into growth and learning opportunity, whether these present opportunities. So the ups and downs in life, the rise and falls in life, do they present opportunities?
It depends on how you look at it, though. It depends on
Mhm.
how you look at it. Somebody
Yeah.
may see the disappointment in losing the job as the end of the world. Some will say
Mm,
they lost their job to start their own business. You see what I'm
mm,
saying?
yeah.
Kellogg's Conflicts was founded on the housewife burning beans cake. Now, if she looked at it and said it was burnt beans cake, we will not have Kellogg's Conflicts today. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
The necessity is the mother of invention. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, if you look at how people started great businesses today, you realize that there's a guy who started a tomato factory and had a wholesale factory on tomatoes and became a rich millionaire simply because he went to that interview. They asked him, does he have an email? He said he didn't have an email and he had only $2 or so in his purse. He got out, went and buy tomato, went to sell it, got $4, went to buy more, and that is how he got the idea to be buying tomatoes and selling it door to door. The guy is a multimillionaire today, and he still doesn't have his email. I'm not saying we should not have an email. I'm not saying we should not have an email, but he missed the job interview because of that. Now, if he had calmed down and ended his life, he would not have gotten the idea to do what he's doing. You
yeah.
see, I'm just trying to tell us that look, tough times don't last. I know what I'm talking about. Some people just have to lose to gain. That
Yeah.
is why I remember Ma- um, John Maxwell would say that you don't lose, you learn. You
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
you don't lose, you learn. You
Yeah.
really learn something if you allow yourself to learn. There is something you can learn from that event that has happened. Even that
Wow.
heartbreak, there's something you can learn.
Yeah. 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 Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sarah, any more
Yes.
questions?
Yeah, I have one more question. Vanessa did mention that you have to make an evaluation of
Mm.
yourself at the end. So just tell us how you go about making evaluation of your day, your week, your month. What has been your practice so we can learn from you?
First of all, I always will contact once a while I contact my mentor and ask him, does he think I am on track with what I am doing? Does
Mhm.
he think I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing? So I do have a mentor, in fact I have two. So I always touch base with them. Secondly, I always contact my best friend, who is a blunt person, who will tell me straight out not what I want to hear, but what I have to hear.
Mhm.
And thirdly, I have in my own small notebook what I set out to do. Did I do it? If I did it, I mark it. If I did not do it, I ask myself what happened and I did not do it. That is
Mhm.
why I'm saying that when I know that I have to push to do this tomorrow, I must make sure I set the space to do it. So you have to be honest with yourself. I have to be honest with myself and say, hey, Joe, this is what you are supposed to do and you are not doing it. This is what is causing your problem. This is causing the ick. This is what is you are achieving. So while I'm celebrating the things I have achieved, I'm also noticing the things I should have achieved that I have not achieved. And I now work on achieving that by asking myself that hardcore question: what did I do to contribute to not achieving it?
Okay, so you keep a journal and you have
Exactly.
a support system in your coach and your
A
mentor,
good,
your best
yes, a
friend.
good support, yeah, a good support system. Just no
Yeah,
one is an island.
yeah.
No one is an island, and that way you realize that someone who has someone holds your hand and the person is leading. You're also asking yourself, what steps are you taking?
Mm. Thank
Wonderful.
you, Vanessa. I think time is fast spent, so I'll leave the floor back to you and Sam. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
All right. Thank you so much. And we've learned so much. Vanessa, we're going to leave the whole floor to you. Give us your dessert, your final parting shot.
Okay,
All
what
right.
can I say? What can I say? I want you to know that you can be the best version of yourself, regardless of what has happened in your life. And you need to be honest and humble concerning the decisions you have to make. You also have to understand that failure is not a curse, disappointments is not a curse, hardship is a reality of life. In fact, it's your test that gives you your testimony. It's your trials that you get your triumph from. So please, even if you are feeling low down, be encouraged that you can still come out. And even if you feel you are doing your best life, you are in your best life, know there's always more to yourself. So keep moving forward, keep growing, keep glowing, and know that your best days are ahead. Thank you once again for being with me, and I appreciate CTL for this opportunity as well. Cheers.
We appreciate Vanessa for availing herself to us and sharing these great nuggets with us. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we have learned a lot, but we can also see that Vanessa has so much more to share. So there's a date. We would certainly bring her back and we will learn a
Thank you.
bit more from her. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you.
God
My
bless you.
pleasure.
God bless you.
Amen. Thank you too
All
as
right.
well. Thank you too very well.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Now, those of you who joined, we want to thank you so much. The growth journey has started. We've just done an introduction. So if you want to join the growth journey, you can join. We are preparing the next cohort also. So please do not miss out. This is going to help you to be focused. Some of the things we're discussing here, we'll discuss them a bit more in detail. Our catalog is out, 2025 catalog, lots of great lessons that we've put together for you, for your organization. Get a copy, reach out to us, call us, and let's send you a copy of the catalog. Please be intentional, we are told, about your growth. So growth, which will help you take charge of your personality. Okay, so that's the growth journey. And then we also just want you to know that we are warming up to Live to Lead. We've already bought the license, and we are going to very soon come with you with a team and the speakers and so on. So start saving for Live to Lead 2025, which is happening on October 4th, I think, this year, first Friday of October. On that note, I want to thank all of you for coming, and I want to thank the team behind the scene, Joy, Gideon, Vivian, and Priscilla, and Elizabeth, and everybody behind the scenes who are giving us great support to bring you this platform every Saturday. On that note, I'm Samuel Ayim, and I sign off. Stay blessed. God be with you. See you next week. Bye-bye.